So Jamie, why are you punching holes in that leather strap on a tree stump?
Well, the tree stump is a great solid workbench to punch holes in leather on because there's no bounce on the tree stump and the tools go right through the leather real easy.
So this stump and rail anvil look like they've seen a lot of use. How long have you been using them?
Well, I've only been using them since junior high. Now I know you're looking at me and you're thinking, well, that's not very long, but actually, Michael, it's back in the 1970s when I was in junior high. I use this tree stump for punching holes, and I use this anvil for setting snaps and rivets on.
So these tools you got around here have some lovely patina and some workwear. How long have you been using these?
Well, some of these tools, like these oblong punches, I've been using since the 1970s. Some of them are 46, 47 years old, and they're made by C.S. Osborne in USA, and they're really quality tools. They have to be. I've been using them so long.
So going back to this anvil, where did you get a piece of rail track to?
Well, actually, when I was in junior high school, I asked my shop teacher, what's that piece of rail doing there? He said someone was going to make it into an anchor, but they never came to pick it up. He said, why? I said, I'd like to have it. And he wondered why I wanted it. And I said, well, I want to use it for an anvil in my leather shop. So I spent noon hours cutting through this with a hacksaw blade, this hard Sydney steel. It took many, many noon hours, went through a lot of hacksaw blades, dulling them, and he finally said, you're going to have to start buying some of those blades because you're going through so many of them.
So I'm seeing how you got these tools attached. You want to just walk me through some ideas how you can...
Yeah, this tree stump is also a great place for hanging your tools. I take these old leather straps I have laying around the shop, loop them around the tools, and come right around here. You can see a whole bunch of them all hanging up. So it's great for displaying your tools.
So if I don't have a tree stump or don't want to go down to Via Rail to get a piece of track, where can I get some tools like this so I can do some leatherworking at home?
Oh, let me show you. When I first started doing leather work, I had a much smaller tree stump. It was only about maybe 16 inches tall by maybe 8 inches wide. And I'd use that tree stump at craft shows. I'd take it to the craft shows because I'd have belts in long lengths, and I would cut the belts, punch the holes in the leather, and set the rivets in it to size the belts for the customers.
So I noticed you had a piece of leather underneath that strap you were punching holes into. Why did you have that there?
Well, we were a full-time leather shop. We're making leather goods all the time. I have lots of little pieces of scrap leather, so I just grab one and throw it on top of the tree stump to use as a cutting surface. But in your apartment or your home and you have a sturdy work table, you don't want to take a chance that your punch is going to go right through that piece of scrap leather and into your table and ruin it. So I would suggest using a nylon cutting pad or a poundo board. And the other advantage of using these is that it helps keep your punches lasting longer. Rather than taking your punch and going into something hard, it protects the blade so it'll last longer.
Speaking about these punches here, what are the difference between these three ones?
Well, when I first started doing leather work, I didn't have a lot of money, and I wasn't doing a lot at first. So I needed inexpensive tools. So these economy oblong punches did the job. Didn't cost very much, but as I started doing leather work as a living, I had to get into heavier duty punches that would last a lot longer. So I started buying punches by Ivan, which are hand forged, and these forged steel punches by C.S. Osborne, which are made in the USA, last a long time. I've been using those for many, many years, as I mentioned before.
So I notice you have two hammers here. Why would you use a poly hammer versus a rawhide steel hammer?
Well, this poly hammer, or you get a rawhide hammer around the same size, so it's nice weight for punching holes through the leather. But if you get into a large punch like this, it requires a lot more force to get through. So this split head hammer by C.S. Osborne has a heavy weighted metal head, has a lot of weight, so when you hit it, causes the punch to go right through the leather.
So, what can I use in my apartment for an anvil if I can't fit a giant piece of rail in there?
Oh, I got the answer for you. I have this little mini anvil, which is great for setting rivets on and setting snaps.
Do you sell all these tools that we see here?
Oh, we sell them all. We got numerous tools. We have all kinds of different hand tools for sewing, punching holes, riveting, setters, everything. Just check out our website at www.leathersmithdesigns.com.